Hey guys, it's Adrian here, the Canadian in a t-shirt, and today I'll be breaking down how to use Norbert's Gambit with Questrade. Norbert's Gambit is the cheapest way to buy US stocks, allowing you to convert Canadian dollars into US dollars for free, avoiding the currency conversion fee. I'll go over the benefits of Norbert's Gambit, when you should use it, and I'll provide a step-by-step walkthrough on how to use Norbert's Gambit with Questrade. I already talked about why Canadians should invest in the US in my previous Questrade tutorial. I also gave a step-by-step guide on how to buy US stocks with Canadian dollars, so click the pop-up at the top right to check out that video first and then come back to this one. As a quick summary, all US stocks and ETFs are traded on American exchanges, either the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, and so these stocks are traded in US dollars. But most Canadians don't have US dollars, and so we have to convert our Canadian dollars into US dollars. Most online brokers like Questrade will automatically convert your currency when you buy a US stock, but they will charge you a currency conversion fee, which is usually around 2%. So if you have 1,000 Canadian dollars and you want to invest in US stocks, Questrade will charge you a 2% fee or $20 for this conversion. Norbert's Gambit is a technique that allows you to avoid this currency conversion fee. So here's how it works. The basic idea behind Norbert's Gambit is that you will buy a stock which is cross-listed on both the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. So you will buy this stock in Canadian dollars through the Toronto Stock Exchange, and then you will convert these Canadian stocks into the equivalent American stocks. Now you own American stocks in the New York Stock Exchange, and now you can sell these American stocks for US dollars. The best part here is that when you convert Canadian stocks into equivalent US stocks, you aren't converting currency. You are journaling stocks between exchanges, and you don't pay any fees for this. So you avoid the 2% currency conversion fee. You only have to pay a commission fee when you buy the Canadian stock and when you sell the US stock. But this total commission fee should be less than $20 depending on your broker. Even better, this technique works on ETFs as well. And if you're using Questrade, you don't pay any commission when you buy ETFs. So with Questrade, you can convert any amount of Canadian dollars into US dollars, and it will only cost you about $5 in commission. This is far cheaper than paying 2% conversion fees, especially for large sums of money. The only downside is that you can't buy your US stocks right away. You'll have to wait 3 to 4 business days. The ETF that you're going to buy to handle this conversion is DLR.TO. This is Horizon's US dollar currency ETF, and all this ETF does is track the exchange rate between Canadian dollars and US dollars. So you will buy the ETF DLR.TO in Canadian dollars. And since you're buying an ETF with Questrade, you won't be paying any commission on this. Then you journal your shares of DLR.TO into DLR.U.TO, which is the same ETF just in US dollars. DLR.TO is in Canadian dollars, DLR.U.TO is in US dollars, but they're equal in value. After 3 to 4 business days, the trade will settle, and now you will own shares of DLR.U in US dollars. Now all you have to do is sell these US shares, and then you'll have cash in US dollars. Questrade doesn't charge you a commission when you buy an ETF, but they do charge you a commission when you sell an ETF, and so you'll have to pay about $5. I'll show you guys these steps in detail later in the video, but I wanted to give you this quick summary to explain when you should use Norbert's Gambit and when you shouldn't. First, let's talk about the cost. Norbert's Gambit boils down to 2 transactions: buying shares of the DLR ETF and selling shares of DLR.U. If you use a bank's broker like RBC or BMO, they'll charge you $10 in commission every time you buy or sell an ETF. So Norbert's Gambit will cost you $20 in total. But if you use Questrade, you'll only pay $5 in commission, and only when you sell DLR.U. So using Norbert's Gambit with Questrade will only cost you $5 in total. You can see why I love Questrade. Let's compare this to the 2% currency conversion fee using the approach that I covered in my last video. If I'm investing $1,000 Canadian, this 2% conversion fee will cost me $20. But the advantage is that I can buy my US stocks instantly. If I use Norbert's Gambit, I'll only pay $5 in total, but I'll have to wait 3 to 4 business days, which might not be worth it. For me personally, if I'm investing with $1,000 or less, I don't bother with Norbert's Gambit. I'd rather pay that 2% conversion fee and have the trade executed immediately. I don't have to contact anyone or wait and check back in after 4 days. I can just click buy, and now I own the US stock. But if I'm investing in large sums of money, I definitely use Norbert's Gambit. Let's say I'm investing $10,000 into US stocks. That 2% conversion fee would cost me $200. That's huge. But if I use Norbert's Gambit, I'm still only paying about $5 in total. I'm only paying the commission when I sell the US ETF. That's much cheaper than paying 2% on the full amount. Technically, if you're converting tens of thousands of dollars with Norbert's Gambit, it might cost you a little more than $5 because of ECN fees. These are tiny fees that you'll never notice unless you're buying thousands of shares. ECN fees come from the stock exchange itself, and they'll charge you 0.35 cents per share. For most trades, that's a negligible amount. Questrade doesn't charge you any commission when you buy ETFs, but you'll still have to pay these tiny ECN fees. They'll only ever cost you a few pennies for the majority of people. So don't worry, this is still much better than paying $10 in commission with another broker. I just wanted to mention it here in case you're converting tens of thousands of dollars. That will involve buying thousands of shares of DLR, and so your commission will be a little more than $5. Probably between $7 and $10 because of these ECN fees. So here is my overall strategy for buying US stocks. Whenever I'm buying small amounts of US stocks, less than $1,000, I buy it directly through Questrade. I pay a 2% conversion fee, but the trade happens instantly. If I'm buying larger amounts of US stocks, $2,000 or more, then I use Norbert's Gambit to avoid this 2% conversion fee. But I have to wait 3 to 4 business days to execute. If you'd like to get started with Questrade, click the referral link in the box below and you'll get $50 in commission-free trades when you sign up. That basically means that your first 10 stock trades will be commission-free. That saves you $50, plus I'll get a small referral bonus as well. So now, let's jump into a step-by-step walkthrough on how to buy US stocks using Norbert's Gambit with Questrade. So we start at the Questrade homepage, we click on Login, we enter our credentials, and it takes us to the balances page. Here, I'm in my RSP account, and you can see that I have 1,802 Canadian dollars to invest in US stocks. I could buy these US stocks directly, just like I did before, but I'll be paying a 2% currency conversion fee on this amount. So if I'm investing $1,800, a 2% fee will cost me $36, and that's too much. Using Norbert's Gambit, I can avoid this $36 fee, but I'll have to wait 3 to 4 business days. So to do Norbert's Gambit, I'm going to buy the ETF DLR.TO in Canadian dollars. All this ETF does is track the exchange rate between Canadian dollars and US dollars. So the fluctuation of the share price of this ETF is just the fluctuation of the exchange rate day to day. So remember, we're going to be buying shares of DLR.TO in Canadian dollars, and then we're going to convert them into the US equivalent ETF, DLR.U.TO. This is actually an inversion of the previous graph. Whenever the US dollar goes up, the Canadian dollar goes down, and vice versa. But at any moment, the value of these two ETFs are the same, based on the current exchange rate. Let's confirm that. So let's go back to the Canadian ETF, DLR.TO, and you'll see that the current value is $14.21 per share. So let's plug that into our Canadian to US dollar currency converter. So we'll enter 14.21 Canadian dollars. Now let's see the current value of the US ETF DLR.U.TO, and we can see that it's currently $10.12 per share in US dollars. And that basically matches the currency conversion, which is $10.13. And so 1 share of DLR equals 1 share of DLR.U, factoring in the currency conversion rate. Okay, so let's actually make the trade. First, let's confirm how much Canadian cash I have. So let's click on account, and we see that I have 1,802 Canadian dollars to invest with. So let's buy some shares of DLR.TO. And now we follow the regular steps. I click the green buy button. I click the refresh icon to refresh the price. I scroll down to confirm my available cash. And now we bring up the calculator to calculate how many shares of this ETF I can afford to buy. So we enter $1,802.46. We don't pay commission when we buy an ETF. So we just divide our cash amount by the current asking price of $14.21. That gives us 126.84. Remember, you can't buy a fraction of a share. So we have to round down to 126 shares. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter 126 shares. And I'm going to change the order type to market because I want this order to execute immediately. So I'm buying 126 shares at market price in my RRSP account. So we click the green buy button, and that gives us the confirmation pop-up window. You'll notice that the commission is listed as 44 cents. And again, that's just the ECN fees, which I talked about earlier. So just to confirm, let's take this 44 cents, divide by 126 shares, and we get 0.0035. That's the charge for ECN fees, 0.35 cents per share. Still, paying 40 cents in ECN fees is way better than paying $10 in commission at another broker. Okay, so I click send order, and then we see a pop-up saying that my order was filled. Let's confirm that. Let's go to orders, and you'll see that I successfully bought 126 shares of DLR.TO. Now if we go to positions, you'll see that I also own 126 shares of DLR.TO. If we go to balances, you'll see that most of my Canadian cash is gone. I only have $11 cash left. Okay, so now I have 126 shares of DLR.TO. Now I have to convert or journal over these Canadian ETFs into shares of the US ETF DLR.U.TO. To do this, I can either call Questrade support or I could just send them a chat message. So to do that, click on accounts and then click on the green chat button at the bottom right. You can enter your credentials like your account number if you want, it might speed things up. Click trading on my own and then start the chat. You might have to wait for a few minutes. I've never waited more than 10 minutes, but if there's high demand, the wait time could be even longer. I didn't want to record my conversation with support, but this is literally the message I sent them. All I said was I currently have 126 shares of DLR.TO in my RRSP account, and I would like to journal them over to DLR.U.TO, please. They let me know that it would take 3 to 4 business days, and that was it. The whole conversation was less than a minute. So now 4 business days have passed, I log back in, I go to my positions, and now I see that I have 126 shares of DLR.U.TO. That's a US ETF in US dollars. So I've converted my Canadian ETF into a US ETF, and I didn't pay any currency conversion fee for this. But I don't want shares of this ETF, I want cash in US dollars. So we click on DLR.U.TO and we click sell. I'm going to sell all the shares I have, so that's 126 shares. I'm going to sell it at market price and in my RSP account, so I click the red sell button. Now I get the pop-up confirmation window, and you'll notice here that in the commission, I am being charged a $5 commission fee. Questrade doesn't charge commission when I buy ETFs, but they do charge a commission when I sell ETFs, so I have to pay this $5. Still, that's much better than paying a 2% conversion fee on this large sum of money. So when I sell this, I should get $1,270 US in cash. So I click send order. I get a pop-up window notifying that my order was executed. So I have sold all those shares. Now let's go to my balances, and you'll see that I have $1,270 US sitting there as cash. And that's exactly what I wanted. You can also use Norbert's Gambit to convert US dollars into Canadian dollars. It's the exact same steps, just in reverse. Once you have that cash in US dollars, you can buy whatever US stocks and ETFs that you want. Follow the exact same steps I covered in my first Questrade tutorial on how to buy stocks. Just note that everything will be in US dollars, not Canadian. So click the pop-up at the top right to check out that video. So that's how you use Norbert's Gambit to buy US stocks without paying a currency conversion fee. These same steps will work for most online brokers, but unfortunately, you can't use Norbert's Gambit for some brokers like WealthSimple Trade. WealthSimple Trade does not allow you to hold US dollars. Every foreign transaction is always converted back into Canadian, and they charge you a 1.5% conversion fee every time that happens. I think WealthSimple Trade is a great platform, but only for Canadian investments. Do not use it for US investments. Those conversion fees, every single time you buy or sell a US stock, will bleed you dry over the years. And there's no way to avoid it. You can't use Norbert's Gambit with WealthSimple. I'll be making a whole video comparing Questrade with WealthSimple, so stay tuned for that. Overall, they're both great platforms for Canadian stocks and ETFs, but for US investments, no question, go with Questrade. Remember, if you're investing more than $2,000 at once, I suggest using Norbert's Gambit to avoid conversion fees. You'll have to wait 4 business days, but it will only cost you $5. If you're investing in small amounts, less than $1,000, the savings you get with Norbert's Gambit probably isn't worth the wait. Just buy the stocks right away and pay that 2% fee. Again, if you want to get started with Questrade, click my referral link in the box below and you'll get $50 in commission-free trades when you sign up. Plus, I'll get a small referral bonus as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Every thumbs up and comment really does help me build this channel, and hit that bell icon to be notified of my new videos every week. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Canadian T-shirt, click the link in the box below or click the links on my homepage. Be sure to tune into my next video where I'll be making a step-by-step guide on how to file your own taxes using TurboTax. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Canadian in a T-shirt. Bye guys.